And
It's like very minimal
you know what?
effort
I
required.
don't even care. You know how tired I am right now, or how little
Oh,
I'll
I
contribute
thought
to
you were
your half
gonna
of the
say you
show.
don't care. Oh, all right.
Because you fucking fell asleep in my half last week. So
All right,
that actually relieves like all pressure on me to like be an active co-host.
What if I told you that I wasn't really asleep? What if it was all an act?
Then I will act along with you.
All right.
Then I will
You probably don't believe me.
I'll do a
but
follow-up act.
Maybe the whole time I was thinking, haha, everyone thinks I'm asleep, but I'm really not.
I bet they're all clipping this and waiting to
Exactly.
surprise me with it on Twitter.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is the second half of episode 108. We already did the first half. It's on Kyle's channel. Check it out if you didn't already. It's linked in the video description. We talk about technology. We occasionally curse and drink and do things of debauchery nature and that kind of thing. So please bear that in mind. And I didn't fall asleep. Promise.
He did. He did fall asleep. Go watch last week's episode. He fell asleep.
Last week we were suffering from jet lag, having just returned from Taiwan. This week we're still kind of suffering from jet lag. It's a bit better, but we'll see. We'll see how long Kyle can last.
Yeah.
We're also planning to go and have.
Be laughing at you
we're
just
planning
yet.
to go and have some sushi after this half of the show. So we're excited about that, and just wanted to share that with you guys. On my half, we're going to talk about AMD Threadripper and a bit of news on that. Also, just a quick touch on net neutrality. The games report, of course, since E3 is going on, we're going to talk about practically none of the stuff that's announced there. And then we'll talk about some Scrapyard Wars, because that has finally been launched in its entirety on the Linus Tech Tips channel. And we got some...
We got some shit to say.
We got some things.
We got some things to say.
We got some things to talk about.
It ain't over.
All right.
It ain't over.
Let's real quick, if you guys want to help support us and our stores and the channels that the videos that we make.
We make so many channels.
Bitwit.tech/store is Cal's store. He has shirts and mugs and some pint glasses. No, yeah, mugs, pint glasses.
Buy something for me this time, because last half of the show, no one bought anything for me, and I felt really sad.
If you buy from us during the show, we will give you a shout out, and it'll be awesome. You guys will love it. My store is paulshardware.net. I also have some shirts and some decals and a beanie and a polo shirt and more glasses. It's all very high quality stuff. And if you buy during the show, we say thank you to you at the end of the show. And if you buy from both of our stores, it gets shipped together, and you get a little bit of a shipping discount that will be refunded to you after the stuff ships.
Indeed.
All right. Let's continue the news section. Because we ended Kyle's half with news, we begin my half with news. That's how this works. That's how we dovetail.
Oh, maybe people did buy things for me, and I just didn't.
You didn't refresh.
Account. No,
you
it's because I turned off mail forwarding from my older email address, so I'm not getting those anymore.
Wow.
So, I'll be calling anyone who bought a shirt or any sort of merchandise for me on my half of the show today will be getting a call out. You'll be getting a double Johnson without even having to buy anything from Paul's Shitty Store.
That's amazing.
At the end of this half of the show. So, stay tuned.
My store is like literally the same as your store.
So it's way different.
My store is
way different.
It's like the same guy.
I guarantee you there's probably like numerous forum posts on which one's better.
Paul's store versus Kyle's store. What's your experience with either one?
Yeah.
All right. Why is my mouse not working? Okay. I think my wife is home, so apologies to headphone users because my dogs might be barking in just a moment.
Dog alert.
All right. Let's talk about Threadripper stuff. We have an announcement from Dell about the Alienware Area 51 Threadripper edition. There's pictures of it here. Look at that.
Have they never had a product before called Area 51?
Have they?
How could you not have a product like if your company name was Alienware? I feel like that'd be my first product that I ever made would be the Area. I feel like that's just such a perfect name for a product. If that's a company name. Anyway, I'm digressing. Sorry.
Maybe they have. I'm not sure.
I think it's an awesome name.
It's a unique design. Dogs!
Oh, Jesus!
Dogs!
Oh God! Camera shook.
I turned down the volume.
Good thinking. I should have gotten up and like cradled the camera just in case.
Everything's fine. I did warn. Okay, we're slowly turning the volume back up. Okay. I did provide a warning there, so hopefully all is well. How's the camera? Are we a little? Yeah, it's tweaked a little bit.
Oh, I got it.
Cal's gonna fix that. Sorry, this is just the
Wait, it's too far.
Towards me a little bit, I think. All right, that should be fine. Okay. Back to the matter at hand. So this is going to be among the first ways that you can buy Ryzen Threadripper. And in fact, part of this announcement is that through 2017, Dell will be the exclusive major OEM partner to deliver Ryzen Threadripper-based systems. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the only place that you're going to be able to buy Threadripper builds from, but more on that in just a second. Look at this. Here's the same picture of a Threadripper CPU. Look at that.
It's big and beautiful.
Detail from that render.
That was used using the Arsenal Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, that's probably how they took that picture.
Yep. It's just a computer.
So yeah, as you can see here, this chassis that they've designed, which has everything kind of tilted at a 45-degree angle,
alien egg,
which looks pretty cool. Can support up to 3 GPUs. The base, so there's going to be a bunch of different configurations for the system that you can get. Base system might have anything from the 12-core, 24-thread Threadripper CPU all the way up to the 16-core, 32-thread Threadripper CPU. We'll be talking in just a minute about all of the various CPU versions that AMD has currently talked about. The base GPU configuration is going to have a GTX 1050 Ti or a Radeon RX 570. But the max, as you can kind of see here, assuming that they eventually plug in these graphics cards, since they don't have the power plugged in, will go up to a 3-way RX 580 configuration or a 2-way GTX 1080 Ti configuration. So that's kind of cool. Memory goes up to 64 gigs. You can get the base, which is a 2666 kit, or a 2933 HyperX memory kit for the higher end model. Up to 1 terabyte M.2 PCIe SSD, 2 terabyte hard drive, dual killer E2500 gigabit NICs, and either a Dell 1820 802.11ac 2x2 Wi-Fi card or a killer 1535 802.11ac 2x2 Wi-Fi card. Gonna be factory overclocked, or at least you can get it factory overclocked, and yeah, kind of like, you know, the things you would expect from buying a high-end pre-built system.
Were you showing?
What
did they get a look at that?
This, the blown up version.
Yeah, I just noticed that it wasn't on the.
We looked at that
on the screen.
We looked at it briefly right at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
That was right as the dogs lost their shit, I believe. That's okay.
I don't know.
Hello, my wife.
Hello.
Everyone go follow her on Twitter, Mrs. Paul Hardware. Okay. Yeah. So the drives fit in this rack on the right side. And the graphics cards on the left. Looks like they've got a 120 millimeter, fairly thick radiator here with a liquid cooling solution.
The blue PCB on the motherboard and the green DIMMs are just a bonus.
Yeah. That must not be the upgraded version with the HyperX and all that. But anyway, all this is to say that AMD Threadripper could launch on July 27th, because that is the information that came along with this information from the Dell Alienware Area 51 Threadripper edition, is that it's going to be available on July 27th.
Transitive property.
Yes. Based on that information, the assumption has been made that July 27th is probably when this Threadripper thing from AMD is going to be available. This article from Tech Power Up says a bit more specifically, this is when you will be able to purchase PIB product in-box retail packages of certain models of Threadripper. Also expect that AMD will launch about 4 SKUs on this date, 2 12-core options and 2 16-core options.
Nice. And
then, of course, all of the motherboards that go along with them, which are going to be sockets TR4 or SP3R2. That's the socket. I mean, it's LGA 4000 something. I forget how many pins are in it.
So that's
it's
the
4,000.
Is the full socket name TR4SP3R2?
The socket would be TR4. socket TR4.
What's SP3R2?
It's a more specific Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. This is the first time I've seen it. I've seen TR4 at like Computex and stuff.
I believe SP3R2 is because if you look at all of the LGA socket names, they have the pin count, which is what you're more familiar.
It's like the -V3 type of thing.
LGA 4094 is what I'm seeing in chat. I apologize if that's anyway. Hopefully that's correct. But yeah, the Threadripper socket has lots of pins, and that is the name of it is TR4. SP3R2 might be
in reference to the number of pins. Or
yeah,
something?
I mean sometimes they have iterative code names for sockets as they increase in size or skew or whatever. I just don't know exactly what that is. So I have a general idea, just not specific.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say.
Well,
but they will have the AMD X399 chipset, and we did start to see some of these at Computex, which was cool. I did want to point out here, though, as we've already mentioned, that that Alienware option here, Gordon Ung from does PC Gamer. I'm sorry, not PC Gamer. Who does Gordon Ung work for now? Anyway, PC World. PC World. Yeah. Sorry. He says that it's not just it's not just Dell who's going to have Threadripper stuff. They're the only major OEM that's going to have Threadripper stuff. So that blocks out major OEMs like HP and Lenovo. You will still be able to get boutique OEM builds from the likes of Origin, Main Gear, and other smaller PC OEMs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Sweet. Now, for those Ryzen Threadripper models that we were just talking about. This is actually a couple weeks old, so we kind of missed talking about this last week, but I wanted to bring up this list one more time. This is a Tech Power Up article, and it lists them all here in paragraph form, which is lame. I was searching around for something that had bullet points, and I did find it. Over here on Tweaktown.
Whitelisting.
Good old Tweaktown. The question is it worth...
Whitelisting?
Is it worth... Anthony, I don't know if you're watching this week. Is it worth whitelisting Tweaktown to view this list?
I think we should, yes. But he's a little biased.
Right.
He's a little biased.
Let's go ahead and...
maybe pause it for the next 5 seconds.
Let's go ahead and pause. Let's pause.
Can you pause it and mute anything that
Click
comes
the ad and I'll walk you through blocking it? What is that? I've never done that before. Where's my whitelist?
Why do we need to be walked through blocking an ad?
Don't run on this page. Okay.
It's like you must pay Tweaktown $5.99 in order to move forward.
Oh God, ad block! What the hell? I should have just done this before.
Our computer's broken. Why don't we just permanently whitelist them? Just at least on this computer. So we don't have to encounter so many issues with Tweaktown every time. Granted, the ad system shouldn't be this crazy.
Yay! Alright. No, it's I just waited. Come on, ad blocker. What the hell? Don't run on pages on this domain.
Take your filters.
Reload. Oh God, I swear I've done this more times. It's still.
Can you just look up the article from a different website?
No, for some reason none of the websites just had this listed in a very easily legible format.
Do you know it off the top of your head?
I have it in the notes.
Just do that.
But I can't show people. I want to show people.
Whatever, they still have ears.
Alright, just hit reload. Why is it still... Alright. Anthony, as you can see here...
It could be ad blocker's
I'm
fault.
trying to hit don't run on pages on this domain. I don't know why AdBlock is popping this additional site up that says whatever the hell it's saying. It's even got, like Tweaktown, very smart Tweaktown. It tells you what, you choose which ad blocker, tell it which one, click don't run on pages on this domain, hit reload, Oh, look, there it is. Oh, and then this fucking thing pops up again. All right.
That's dumb.
Sorry, guys. That's we're not going to show you that then.
Use a different source is what they're saying.
A different source? What is that? What do you mean?
Do you have a different ad blocker?
Here's what I can do. Here is what I will do right now, on the fly for everyone at home.
Did you try refreshing the page?
Yes, I did. I hit refresh. I hit reload. I did the exact steps that it told me to do in order to show that web page, and it didn't work. I'm not surprised. So we're just gonna go here. We're gonna copy the link address. We're gonna go over to Firefox, where I don't have AdBlock installed. We're gonna scroll down to that list. We're gonna use the snipping tool.
Delete folder system32. Did you try that?
We're gonna snip it. There it is. Hey, look at that. Problem solved.
Snipped.
Snipped.
Snip that one in the bud.
Alright, so once again, having attempted to view Tweaktown and failing, we have taken measures to still
extreme
do that.
measures.
Alright. Hold on. Okay, here's the list of the 9 Ryzen Threadripper CPUs. The 16-core 32-thread option at the top. The reason I wanted to pull up this list is because the names are freaking confusing as hell again, and goddamn it, AMD, I'm tired of this garbage. There's already enough Intel CPUs that I have to learn in the i9 series and all that crap. Then AMD comes out with this. Alright, there's some theory that all of these numbers line up with years that are significant in some way in computing history.
Are you serious?
But
was like the Da Vinci Code right now that we have to decipher this bullshit?
I don't know.
Like, what does that have to do with like?
They're not even properly sequential. Like, look.
Oh my god.
The lowest end one, 10-core, 20-thread, right? Oh, look. Hey, the nice thing about snipping tools, I can draw on this. That's fun. I feel like
we've made a breakthrough.
I'm gonna use the highlighter up here. All right, so the 1955 is the lowest end. From there, you can jump up to the 1995X. Is this a typo?
It could be.
That might be a typo. That's got to be a typo.
Maybe they meant the 1955X.
This was copied from Tweaktown. This could very much be a typo. All right, I hope that's a typo and it's the 1955 or the 1955X.
Otherwise, I'm even more confused.
That would make some sense. Because then it would go from that to 1956 and 1956X, where you get 12 cores and, you know, a little bit higher frequency. Check out the TDPs on all these, though. 125 watts and 155 watts. I mean, if you can really get a 12-core, 24-thread at 125 watts, that's pretty damn nice. And that's, like, lower than what Intel has been speccing out. They're at, like, 140 watts and potentially up to 165 watts for their 10, 12-core variants. We don't have numbers specifically for the higher-end stuff because those are still just paper launch items. The 14 cores are 1977 and 1977X. And the 16 cores are 1998 and 1998X. Again, these seem like years.
Yeah.
But
party like it's 1998X.
You go from 1976 to 1977 to just
It'd be one thing if like all the 12 cores were 1950s.
Yeah.
And all the 14 cores were 1970s, but that's not necessarily the case. Like there's overlapping in the nomenclature, and it just makes it all the more confusing.
All right, let me see if I can check that other article. All right, so the lineup is it's a Tech Power article. Like, come on, Tech Power Up. You wrote out all this stuff. 16-core chips are followed by the 14-core models.
Tell me a bedtime story.
12-core lineup. No, this says it's still 1976X. Right? Wait, no, 1955. The 10-core.
10-core.
Okay, that's a typo.
Okay, 955
That's a typo.
non-X.
All right, so
okay.
this is a typo. This is not 1995X, it's 1955X.
Right.
And Anthony, fix your stupid ad blocker stuff and update your story. It's 1955X. Okay. There's your Threadripper models that are potentially coming out, though. Going from 10 cores up to 16 cores. Sounds pretty cool. We don't know very much else about them other than all that stuff we've already said. There's some rumors right now, like the rumor was that the highest end version, 16 core, 32 thread, was going to cost potentially $850. That's very, very, very rumor, though. I'm not even going to pull up the article on that because, I mean, I guess I could.
It's hearsay.
It's right here. All right, here's the article on that. Could potentially cost $849.
You just said you were going to pull up the article of this.
I know, but it was
you
right
pulled
there.
it up.
But even even Tech Power Up says, let's be honest, this seems like an immensely optimistic value, undercutting even Intel's 10-core 7900X, which has been announced at $999 in tray quantities. So probably not that, but hopefully, a range of AMD CPU options that are viable for high-end desktop computing, and hopefully more on that soon. Cool. All right, I wanted to talk about broadband and net neutrality because I've been trying to bring that up a little bit to touch on it because I think it's a major issue right now, and I encourage you guys to take some action on it if that resonates with you. Now, one of the things that they've talked about with broadband and net neutrality is the fact that the current net neutrality rules, which is that internet service providers are classified as common carriers under Title II of the Communications Act, they're saying that has hurt internet service providers somehow. It's caused them to not innovate and not expand their networks as much. And this article is pointing out that the internet service provider lobbyists themselves tend to sort of have two different messages depending on what they're talking about. This is an article about the NCTA, the Internet and Television Association, which is cable industry's top lobbying group. They're pointing out that the U.S. is now in the top 10 countries for adoption of internet speeds over 15 and 25 megabits per second, as well as in the top 10 for overall speed. In fact, the average peak connection speeds in the U.S. from 2012 to 2017, as shown in this chart, and also, this is from NCTA, has been increasing pretty steadily. The time period from 2011 to 2014 was handled by what is known as soft touch, I believe, regulation. There was some standards in place that were loosely enforced, but they were challenged in court by internet service providers in 2014, and that actually that actually challenged the rules that were in place against blocking, throttling, and pay prioritization. Federal Appeals Court wiped those rules out. There were no net neutrality rules from 2014 and through much of 2015. It was in 2015 that the FCC actually did classify ISPs as common carriers under Title II. And as you can see, after that, the internet speeds just tanked, right? They went downhill. They were terrible after that. No, that's not true.
They look really good.
They kept going up. In fact, they kept going up pretty significantly. So all this is to say that if you've been hearing that Title II classification of internet providers is a bad thing and stifles innovation, according to the internet lobbyists themselves, that is not true. Basically, this has been summed up as is a power grab by ISPs. They see that the cable television model that's been sort of ingrained in the U.S. for so long is dying. That is also quantifiable. Cable news or cable TV signups have been falling off big time, which is why the major internet service providers are trying to have more of a stranglehold and more of a grip on internet service, because that's what they see as their next potential ability to get more money out of people. So if you like being able to access any website that you want, anytime you want, and not have your internet service provider say, oh, we'd rather you not go there, so we're going to make that site slow for you. We'd rather you go to this website that we own, so we're going to make that one nice and fast for you. Then you should be against changing these rules. Leave it how it is. It's already classified as Title II. Keep that as it is. So strongly encourage you guys. You can go directly to gofccyourself.com, which is the website that was set up by the good folks over at Last Week Tonight that will directly take you to the FCC webpage. Go ahead and submit a new filing. Tell the FCC that you support continued regulation of internet service providers as common carriers under Title II of the Communications Act. And bear in mind that the FCC might not listen to you, because ultimately they don't have to. Ajit Pai and the people in charge there right now, there's 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat, and the Democrat seems to be the one who's been supporting net neutrality rules. The Republicans have been against it. I don't want to make this a party issue or anything like that, but that's really where it falls out right now. And it's gonna suck if they ignore people and don't do what people want. But they might do that anyway, and in which case we'll probably have to wait until the next cycle of people to be elected to come through. But again, I don't want to go down too much down that rabbit hole. But just do what you can right now to let them know how things should be. Everyone who understands this issue, who I've talked to, pretty much agrees and understands that it's the way it should be, and that it's kind of stupid right now that this is even a problem or even an issue that's being brought up. But when the guy who's in charge of the FCC is a former lawyer for Verizon, then he's probably going to do what perhaps is in Verizon's best interest, more so than what's in the best interest of all the people who use the internet.
Dick.
All right. Speaking of Verizon now officially owns Yahoo, and Marissa Mayer has resigned, so she's not there anymore. That's as of today, and this was a pretty big deal that was going through in the world of big companies who deal with the internet. But yeah, Yahoo and AOL, because Verizon also bought AOL back in 2015, are now going to be merged into a new division under Verizon called Oath. It's going to be a bunch of stuff, including a bunch of websites they own like HuffPost, Yahoo Sports, TechCrunch, and Gadgets, as well as apps that they own like Alto and Brightroll, as well as Tumblr, will all be part of Oath now. Verizon initially made this offer for Yahoo back in July, $4.83 billion in cash. After multiple data breaches came to light over the past year, they shaved $350 million off that purchase price. However, they are still going through with the sale, or they have gone through with the sale now. So about $4.5 billion was what the final sale cost was. Verizon's goal, if it's not obvious to you with this acquisition, is to continue to expand their status as an advertising juggernaut. They have ad technology that they've acquired from Yahoo. They have a suite of highly trafficked websites that they now own, as well as all the, just being Verizon internet service provider, whether you get, they don't, they kind of cut off their FiOS stuff, but maybe you get cell phone service from them. They track stuff to see what people are interested in, and they use that to
sell them ads.
And that's where lots of money is made these days.
End up, guys.
Can't talk too much trash on it if you use lots of Google services, because that's how Google operates as well. But just so you know, that's how these large companies work. So yeah, they also have AOL, and they're going to data mine everything and make more effective ads.
My parents still use AOL email.
Yeah, their data is now belongs to Verizon.
Didn't even know that still existed.
Yep. Lots of people who figure out how something works continue to use that thing until it doesn't work anymore. That includes me. All right, let's talk about games. Yay, video games.
Like video games?
Video games, yes.
Video games?
We're gonna dive into the games report because E3 is going on right now. Kyle, have you been very, very closely following E3 and all the
no
stuff going on there?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I.
I have not.
I'm just kidding. I vaguely
don't have. I feel like games are not. I don't pay attention to the games as much.
Windows Update just started updating in the back.
Geez.
That was completely not. That was unauthorized. That was quick though.
Against my will.
It was actually really quick.
Update rape.
Do you have a bottle opener?
Yep.
Open this bottle. E3 is going on right now, so there's lots of video game announcements and stuff that has been happening. We're very close to E3. It's happening in Los Angeles, but I don't know, just not really that interested in going. It's mainly because of the jet lag.
Yeah.
If I was feeling normal, I might be like, hey, sure, I'll go over to E3 for a day or something like that, but...
I just want to go to sleep.
So, apart from E3, the GOG, Good Old Games Summer Sale, is now underway. So if you guys want some good deals on games, and if you like helping support the diversification of other gaming platforms besides Steam, which I think is a good thing, GOG, it's not a bad one. Their summer sale includes a couple free games, or at least games that you get for free if you make at least a purchase. If you purchase anything, I believe you get Rebel Galaxy. And if you spend at least $10 now, you also get Alan Wake's American Nightmare. So a couple semi-free games, at least with a base purchase in there. Other than that, they have over 1,500 games on sale, up to 90% off. That includes The Witcher 3 for 40% off, Stardew Valley for 33% off, Her Story for 50% off, Braid for 80% off, and Torment Tides of Numenera for 30% off.
It's a lot of things off.
Yeah. So go buy video games. Yay, video games. Other than that, here was an announcement from E3, or at least the pre-E3 PC Gamer event that they had. The original Age of Empires is being remastered. It's going to be called the Definitive Edition. What do you think of this, Kyle?
What?
You probably don't care if you didn't play the original Age of Empires.
I did not.
I didn't really
was not into
either.
PC gaming that early on.
This was in 1997 was when the original Age of Empires launched. It is now being remastered. You were 9 years old.
I was 9.
So, celebrating its 20th anniversary, it's being remastered, new soundtrack, new zoom levels, which is kind of cool when you have a game where you have a very limited scope of what you can see. Look at the old zoom level.
Okay.
Ah, look at that zoom level.
What?
Look at that zoom level.
What?
Oh, you can zoom out. You can zoom out.
So it's the same game, but just
Super clutch.
just different.
I mean, yeah, they've changed some of the game mechanics to allow for stuff that's been developed that people have come to expect when it comes to UI and interacting with the game. Stuff that in '97 was unique and innovative that now you'd be like, wait, that's just how things should work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have good examples for that, but anyway. Also 4K graphics, which is super important when you have a game that looks like this.
True.
Nevertheless, though, Age of Empires is a long time beloved game. Lots of people used to like. There's sort of a side-by-side of how it used to look versus the updated version. I don't think the 4K graphics is all that important or anything like that, but you wouldn't have been able to play this game without bootlegging it unless you actually had the old CD-ROMs from 1997, and that was a pretty rare thing. So cool just to allow people to play it. Sort of one of the foundational strategy games. So there's that. All right, Destiny 2. There's a 4K PC 60 frames per second demo that NVIDIA launched. It's right here.
Homecoming.
Yeah. Destiny 2 is coming soon. I thought I had some notes for this that I don't, but where'd they go? The release date is now in October. Wow, yeah, I never pasted that in there. All of my notes are gone. That's fine. But anyway, this is an NVIDIA demo that they launched. It's probably being played on some pretty high-end hardware because it is 4K and it is pretty, it's very smooth. If you guys, the link to this is in the video's description. I'm not even going to play it at that high of resolution right now, but it looks really cool. It also looks like they're playing it on a controller, but we'll spare them that. Destiny 2 is going to be available for PC on October 24th. Activision confirmed that. That is about a month after the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 editions launch, which will be on September 6th. The PC beta, however, is scheduled to start in late August, so that's sooner. It's only a couple months away, but they haven't set a firm date for that. So if anyone is interested, probably keep an eye on the Destiny 2 social medias. I'm imagining...
I've never played Destiny. Don't hate me.
Me neither. That's okay.
Oh, good.
This is why the games
not alone.
report is often so lackluster on our channels. Like, this isn't one of the 3 games that we actually play, so it's hard for us to get too into it.
Yep.
But this is one of the new titles
though.
that's actually going to be distributed on Battle.net, which is kind of cool.
Oh. The Blizzard thing.
Yeah,
Blizzard
we talked about this either last week or a couple weeks ago.
Of course.
But yeah, so that's cool.
Pokemon.
Yeah, this one's for you, Kyle.
I like Pokemon.
I brought in a Pokemon story here because Kyle likes Pokemon. A proper Pokemon game is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
No, I do not.
Oh.
Maybe it's time for me to get one, though.
This might be what pushes you over the edge.
Could be.
Because it's not just like a Pokemon game, it's a real Pokemon game.
What does that mean?
It means
Pokemon are real?
It is being developed by Game Freak, who is the same developer who has developed every title in the main Pokemon series since Pokemon Red and Blue back in 1996. And I know you're familiar with those.
Yes.
So there it is.
So it's just going to be, is it going to be more in the same vein as the originals? Just the same sort of play style? And
I mean, again,
it's an RPG?
Again, not many details beyond that, but it is
proper core RPG Pokemon game.
It's an RPG Pokemon game.
Okay.
It says it's unclear whether or not this will be the long-rumored Pokemon Stars, which is supposed to be a port of the existing Pokemon Sun and Moon from 3DS, or a completely new entry.
Sounds like a Pokemon porn parody.
But it will mark the first time in the history of the series that a main Pokemon RPG title is coming to
a home console. That is true. Which most people will probably play it on the handheld version anyway.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I guess I have to get a Switch now.
Pokemon.
Damn it.
Kyle needs a Switch. Finally, for the games report, Overwatch's Horizon Lunar Colony map is going live next week. I bring this up because I've kind of been feeling the bug to play Overwatch recently, and this might be a good kicker because I haven't played Overwatch in a couple months. I've played like 2 matches or something, and I had a lot of fun playing Overwatch. I wish there were more pictures here, but yeah, it's a new map. It's Lunar Colony, and that's always exciting because Overwatch they spend a lot of time with their maps, designing them, making sure that they're lots of replay value and that they're strategic and all that stuff.
You can battle in Winston's dormitory.
Yes, so this is the Lunar Colony where Winston grew up. The spaces inside include Winston's dormitory, the telescope room from the animated short, as well as little areas that clue players into the reasons that Winston left the colony and head to Earth. I guess there's also a 2 checkpoint map, so I think there might be multiple maps in this environment. But that says it has low gravity areas, so that could be a different gameplay element that gets integrated as well.
That's kind of cool.
But again, just about a week, June 20th, until these go live. So Overwatch players, be happy. Be happy for Overwatch things.
Sweet.
All right, let's move on to
Sword fight.
Sword fight.
Sword fight.
Face off. This is not face off. All right, so for Sword Fight, we're going to discuss Scrapyard Wars 5. So for any of you guys who haven't been watching this season of Scrapyard Wars, it's a show. No, it's a series on Linus Tech Tips, and Kyle and I participated in season 5. The teams were me and Kyle against Linus and Luke, and just this past weekend, the 4th episode of season 5, which is the finale, went up on the Linus Tech Tips YouTube channel. And it's interesting. It's interesting to read the comments on this video because they're not all. I mean, a lot of them are very positive, of course. A lot of people definitely enjoyed it, but there seems to be some controversy. This doesn't seem to be like a cut and dry kind of thing.
True.
Let's just scroll down and all cheating aside, I just want Jay's 2 cents to be on the next rep.
That's what's really important here. Let's just get Jay on here.
Talking about our hard drives that failed, that was definitely a big issue there. Finale is always the most hyped episode, but it leaves you with an empty feeling after because there won't be another episode next week. I feel the same way watching like the last episode in a season of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
It's coming back soon though. So obviously there was potential ne'er-do-wellery on both sides. There's accusations of cheating going around. Some people with some suggestions about how the benchmarking went done.
I like that one.
Linus cheats, no problem. Someone else cheats, no go. But a lot of people pointing out just the fundamental point here, that if you take the raw benchmarks of both systems, that Kyle and I technically came out on top.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're not the ones to make the final call on that. So of course, this being what is Sword Fight? This being Sword Fight, we're gonna take a little debate to this and let you guys also.
I'm gonna say we won.
I'm
gonna say we won.
And
Kyle, right here.
Kyle gets the good luck of being able to go first on this. So,
yep. Because I know the way you think, Paul, and I know you've already devised a rebuttal in your head, as you usually do. You kind of anticipate that I'm going to take the easy way out, because generally by this time of the show I'm already petered out. So I'm going to say we should have won, because at the end of the day, I'll admit, both teams cheated. Linus and Luke had their Michael guy who was giving them free fans and all kinds of crazy ass deals, and they were negotiating, hardware deals long after the kid knew exactly who they were. I mean, he showed up wearing a Linus Tech Tips shirt. Linus did. In case you guys haven't seen it. That actually happened. I'm not joking. And then they proceeded to negotiate deals, which I feel like breaks one of the biggest rules of the series. And granted, we had that foobar moment with the hard drive. Everything was in order. We had our shit together, but it was go time. It was like we had 3 hours left to do all of our benchmarks and head over to Jay so that we could do the finale. And our hard drive that we legitimately bought just wasn't working. Mainly because the guy who we bought it from yanked it out of the toaster without stopping it correctly. He just sort of yanked it out, and while the platter was probably still spinning, and that probably killed the drive. And the drive that Linus and Luke had pawned off to us as sort of tossing us a bone, that didn't help either. And so it was like, yeah, we grabbed an external drive and used that instead. We grabbed it from your garage, which technically, is cheating, but the alternative there is that we didn't grab a drive at all. We had 0 hard drive, we gave up, and we were disqualified without there ever being a sort of finale. Like, that would have been the most underwhelming, terrible ending to any Scrapyard Wars yet. So I felt like, in the spirit of the show and the series, there needed to be some kind of finale. It should have been a close fight. So I feel like us grabbing that hard drive was kind of in, for that sort of reason. I'm not honoring it, saying like we didn't cheat. I'm fully admitting that we did cheat. The difference is that our cheat was found out right then and there, whereas Linus and Luke's cheat was found out long after the whole series had been shot, edited, and uploaded to the public. I feel like that's the difference. I remember when that video first came up, you saw it before I did, and you called me and you texted me, you're like, did you see Scrapyard Wars? Did you just see the latest Scrapyard War? Did you see that scene with Luke and Linus and that guy? And I was like, no, don't tell me they cheated. And I watched it and I was like, holy shit, that's the only difference. That's really the only difference. Both teams cheated, but we got found out on the spot while the cameras were rolling, and they got found out long after it was already published. So, try to argue with that, bitch.
Kyle, I so want to agree with you. I want to say you're right. I want to say we won, but ultimately, it comes down to we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with folks at home, and we didn't live up to the rules that were established by the rule makers of the game. We had an agreement going beforehand, and that's one thing that I think wasn't made clear. I think perhaps to everyone, the actual specifics that we laid out at the very beginning for the system, and the actual storage drive configuration. I don't think that was really specified in the, here's the rules. Like they said the 10% RGB bonus that you could get. They didn't mention that we very specifically said it has to have a hard drive and it has to have an SSD. And the operating system has to be on the SSD. Those were the rules, so we had to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, obviously, if you watch the show, that's where we didn't line up. We had the SSD, we had the operating system, we had the whole system. We didn't have the hard drive that was in there, which needed to be there in order for us to have all of the games loaded. Quite a few people were like, you had the SSD, you should have just loaded a game, ran the benchmarks, deleted the game, loaded the other game, ran the benchmarks. We could have done that. It would have taken more time. We were already short on time, but technically, according to the way that we had agreed on everything at the beginning of before everything started, that's what it should have done. That's how it was supposed to go. So, Kyle and I did our best, but when it came down to it, we didn't have that hard drive in there, and that's really that was the make or break thing. And you could go and you could say Linus cheated. You could say that, but you could just easily say Linus didn't cheat. I just said both of those things, and the second thing I said, based on what I need to argue, is what I'm going to say is the correct thing. See?
Yeah.
See how that works?
You're not wrong.
Because the dude, I forget the dude's name, but the guy at the shop that Linus and Luke went to, and they walked in, and they were like, he was like, hey, if I can get an autograph first or whatever. So obviously he recognized them. But what he said after they went through and spent several hours there picking and choosing things out of piles of hardware that they should be able to buy, he was like, I would have done the same thing for anyone else. And he said that, and we should believe him.
That made me laugh. We should believe him. What if it just at one point, that guy was just sucking Linus's dick? Straight up sucking it, and he's just I would do this for any of my customers.
Luke's sitting there looking at a power supply, and this camera goes over, and there's just...
I do this for all my customers. I mean, seriously, just anyone I like that just had we get a good vibe. I just suck with dick. It's just this isn't special because you're you. Can you get an autograph?
That's just part of it.
I'm just saying, you're totally right. He would have done that for anyone who came into his shop.
He might have. All right. Well, obviously, so we're gonna reveal what you guys, the viewers at home, think right here in just a minute. But I think we should also point out here that we're not gonna take this line down.
Yeah.
We're going to hack into, I think, the WAN show on Friday.
I'm hacking in right now.
Gonna hack in. Kyle's already working on
getting a head
hacking
start.
In. Getting that started. You've opened a save as. You should just. Oh, you deleted it. You should have just posted that in chat. What are you doing? Enter. Nope. Flagged for spam.
What if I accidentally start hosting someone?
Jesus. None of that actually went through into chat.
What the fuck? I'm a bad hacker. I can't even hack a.
So yeah, we're gonna hack into the WAN show on Friday. We're gonna argue this ourselves.
We are.
And we're gonna lay this to rest. Obviously. All right. So who really won? What are the results? We won. We won, Kyle.
Woo!
Obviously, we won.
That's official. That's
based
the official.
Based on the completely unbiased.
Yep. That we hosted on our stream.
Hosted on our stream.
Yeah.
With regular viewers of our show. Awesome. Well, I feel vindicated. I really do.
We should do a straw poll on their.
It's very close.
Their
we nearly lost to Jay.
Yeah, Jay was catching up on us.
Somehow crept up there. But
he just somehow.
We'll see how that goes.
He's a dickhole.
I would have thought the viewers at home winning would be. But,
they're so selfless.
I know.
You guys are so selfless.
All right. So yeah, obviously this isn't the end of that discussion. More to be talked about in the future.
This isn't over.
But yeah,
it's not. Okay.
This should be a long-running feud, I think, most likely.
Yep.
That's what we're looking at here.
It's almost 8, so we should get sushi.
Yes, it is. So we're gonna round out the show by reading off some of the questions that were donated. So thank you. Oh, wait, we gotta find where my half begins.
Yoda right. Ninja, $50. I miss your stream all the time because of my schedule. This should make up for it. Do you have any recommendations for monitor arms? Monoprice has some good ones.
Yeah, Monoprice. I've used.
What's the
a
other
couple
one
from.
that's really popular?
The Ergotech Freedom Arm is the one that I'm really using for this monitor right here, which is a great swing arm for that. For a single monitor, just lots of range of movement, and it's got a nice finish on it and everything. So those are a couple I would recommend. The ones that Wendell uses are really expensive, but they're super nice. But
that's for like really heavy duty multi-monitor stuff.
And those are like enterprise, like they're made for. So those might be a little bit overkill. I apologize. I don't remember the name of them right now, but there's a couple options for you.
Sebastian Casella for the 50
Thanks,
AR. Whatever that is. Double Jenkins to the real winners of Scrapyard Wars. Thank you, sir. Those fancy Canadians didn't see it coming. Love the show. Please never stop. We completely agree with you, Sebastian, and we thank you for your contribution to today's show.
It's an Argentine peso.
Argentine peso.
Yes, indeed.
Why didn't I know that?
I should have known that.
Leon Korsov, $10. Fuck you, Kyle. Love you, Paul. Winky face.
Really?
Well, you know, if you really want to,
hey, Leon,
you know where to find me.
Technically, it was nearly the same thing. It's just with you, it was more vigorous.
He's just playing hard to get.
Thanks, Leon.
Hector Martinez de la Torre, $10.
Thank you, Hector.
If it didn't create a conflict of interest, would you invest in AMD stock?
I don't.
He doesn't do the stock market.
I don't
really know how.
The stock market.
I've never taken the time to.
I'm not into the stock market thing, so.
I've heard bad things about the stock market, you know? Like in the past? Like it being shitty?
No, I actually like how the stock market used to work.
Well, now it's all like computer based.
Something about 75% of all the transactions on the stock market being done by computer algorithms is what bothers me these days. Anyway, we could really dive into that, but I don't really want to as much. So yeah. I probably wouldn't, just because I don't do stocks in general. So, but thank you, Hector, for your donation.
Crafty Hack, $5.
Yeah.
Neglect is still abuse. You should after party to make sure your gaming builds actually work.
Oh, we should.
Just saying. Wow, shots fired.
Well, the Ryzen build back there just did a Windows update, so it's in good shape.
Yes, that's true. We'll have to see about that, Crafty. Again, we'll see how I'm feeling after sushi. Des Jones, $5. Should I stick with 1600X build that I have a part list for, or go balls to the wall and wait for Threadripper?
That's a good question, Des, because Threadripper is tempting. We still don't know a lot of things, like what entry-level CPU is going to cost and what the motherboards are going to cost. I'm going to expect motherboards to start at probably $200, maybe even $250 plus. That's just kind of how it goes for high-end desktop platforms. So you're going to spend more on a motherboard, and you don't know what the minimum price for a CPU is going to be. So if you're not feeling like your motherboard CPU combo, you've got, say, $600 to spend just on those two parts, I'd say at minimum, and that's just a guess, then probably just go with your 1600X build for right now. Also, for what most people are doing, we love the massive thread and core counts for Threadripper and everything, but for what most people are doing, it is quite overkill, and you can get by with a lot less. So
true.
Hopefully that helps you make your choice.
I completely agree. Jared, for the $10, great work what you guys do. Was curious to see if you have any recommendations for a tempered glass case that would easily support the A240G water cooling kit by EK. Tempered glass. Oh wow. There's so many cases now that have tempered glass that are really good chassis.
If you want something relatively inexpensive and just sort of a good all around, the S340 tempered glass from NZXT. It's a great choice for a case. Yep. Should easily fit a 240mm radiator kit.
Be Quiet Pure Base 600 is another one. If you're on the more budget end of things, the P400 Eclipse from Fantex is also a good option.
Yeah, I think
there's a bunch of good ones out there.
Some good choices there.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Periot Cote for the 10 Canadian. Love your show, building an R5 1600 PC. And want to overclock decently the CPU. Do I need the pricey Flare X 3200 MHz Paul featured, or others are getting those speeds for less money, 250 Canadian for 16 gigabytes? You don't need the Flare X. I think it definitely matters like what kind of die on the actual RAM that you get. Some are more compatible than others. But I think the BIOS has matured a lot more since the launch of Ryzen. So you're starting to see much more compatibility offered with a wider range of memory kits. I would do some research and just search for which kits have been known to work and which ones haven't. FlareX, if you just want that ultimate peace of mind because it is straight up validated and certified with Ryzen. But I know like my G-Scale sticks, my SYW5 and my Trident Z kits have all worked just fine with a variety of different Ryzen CPUs. So, yeah.
Also, I mean, the Corsair 3000 speed kit that will run at 2933 on pretty much all the Ryzen CPUs I've tested, you can get that for a lot cheaper. 3200 you're going to pay a little bit more of a premium for, so maybe try to aim for that 3000 spot. You still get a lot of the same performance. It's just a couple ticks behind what you would get there. So yeah, you definitely don't need to pay the premium for the high-end FlareX stuff if you're pairing it with the 1600. Lots of other options out there, and hopefully you'll see more as validation continues and memory manufacturers come out with more kits that are specifically tailor-made for Ryzen.
Yeah. So next up we've got Josh for the $5. Paul, here's some money since I didn't get anything from your store. Y'all keep up the amazing work you do. Keep us in the know and entertained.
We'll do our best.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Josh. Marshmallow for $10. I'm about to build a new workstation gaming PC and was wondering if I should wait for Threadripper or go ahead and get a Ryzen 7 1800X and get X399 and Threadripper after it's been out for a while. I think he meant or get X399 and Threadripper after it's been...
Yeah, just remember you're talking about a complete platform change going from Ryzen 7 1800X up to Threadripper and what is there. So yeah, it really depends on what you're doing with your computer and if you need all those cores and threads. Ryzen 7 1800X is perfectly fine right now for the vast majority of what lots of people are doing. If you're talking about a gaming PC, or even a little bit more like gaming and streaming or video editing or that kind of thing. And again, remember that Threadripper motherboards are probably going to also cost a premium of a good $50 to $100 plus over what you would pay for an X370 board.
This is basically where we're sort of parroting what we've always said about the mainstream versus the high-end desktop Intel platforms, right? Going from like LG 1151 to, like Z270 versus X99. This is basically the same sort of thing. Like X99 is going to appeal to a much smaller group of enthusiasts who either just want the best of the best or really need that extra horsepower when it comes to productivity, workstation applications, video editing, etc. But for the vast majority of us, just go with the mainstream because it's going to be just as good for what you need it for, most likely, and it's going to save you quite a bit of money too. So it's the same thing here with AMD that we've been saying, for Intel over the last few years.
Indeed.
Steven, 1955. Thank you very much. X. He just said X.
That's because it's the 1955X, like the CPU.
Ah, yes.
It's the Threadripper.
Astute
it's the
observation.
Threadripper CPU. Thanks, Steven.
That's an awesome little donation there.
Automatic Mac, thanks for the $5 donation. Have a good night, and sorry for being late.
You are forgiven.
You are totally forgiven. Kashi said $5. I have a 1070, 1050 Ti in my rig. OC'd my 1070. How do I OC the slave GPU 1050 Ti?
What?
I'm assuming you're using the 1050i for something like physics, or yeah.
How do you OC it? You just in any whatever
in
software.
In my experience, if you're talking about Afterburner or like Precision X, you simply have to select the different GPU from the drop-down menu.
Yeah.
And then you can adjust the different parameters for that. Make sure you don't have the sync option built in there. But I can't say that I have exactly tried your situation with a secondary card set up for physics or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting situation, though. But yeah, I would say maybe try other overclocking software if whatever you're using isn't functioning for you. Afterburner and Precision X are good options for NVIDIA cards.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Fung, thank you for your $5 donation. I was at E3 today, and Alienware had a Threadripper system with a Vega GPU. Pre-orders for the system was July 27th. Could be when Vega is released. That would make sense. I would actually expect Vega before then. I'm hoping for Vega by the end of this month, but who knows? There's been a lot of sort of back and forth with that. But yeah, launching them both at the same time would make a lot of sense. I mean, they could kind of double hype with the launch and the CPU and the GPU at the same time. That'd be cool. But it is nice to know that they have working systems and demo systems going on at places like E3. Thank you, Johnny. Levi Webb, thank you for your $5 donation. $5 A. I don't know what the A is. Australian?
Australian? No, that'd be a
yeah, I don't know. He says, you guys are always the winners, but Linus cheated. Honest, Luke even looked guilty. Luke, what does it? I'm going to corner Luke. Next time we see Luke in person, I'm going to corner him. I'm going to ask him straight up, because Luke...
Corner him in an alley.
Luke won't lie to me. I'm going to look Luke in the eyes. He won't lie.
No. You could tell how guilty he looked after that scene with Michael, after they got all that free shit. All that shit. You could just tell, like, Luke just had this, like, low self-esteem about him. He just, like, was hanging his head low and just, like, we did a bad thing. Like, you could just tell he was, like, kind of like Eeyore. Yeah. You know, super kind of depressed and, like, guilty conscience for sure.
He wants to win straight up.
Yep.
Sebastian Casella, another, I believe this is Argentinian peso.
Rupees? Or, no, Argentine pesos, maybe?
Argentine peso, yes. 20 Argentine pesos. Linus also cheated when he got the VGA with the note in it. Yeah, that said, I hope you guys win or whatever.
Multiple times.
Technically, he didn't, though, because the rules were if you coordinated the sale beforehand, the price, and you said, all right, we're going to come right now, we're going to buy this for this amount of dollars, and you did that, even if they recognized you on the spot, it was supposed to be okay. You could argue that in that situation, he was cheating because the guy must have known before, but the guy didn't tell him before. And we're really in a situation where if someone does that, there's only so much we can do. Like, we try to talk to them, negotiate, do whatever we can to set the price up. If they're just holding back and they're like, I kind of know, but I don't want to say anything, like, that's kind of one of those gray area situations where we've done all we can to do what we would think, to abide by the rules in our situation. Is it possible that he only made that sale for that amount of dollars because he actually knew that it was Linus? Or, yeah.
I feel like anyone who's ever watched Linus in their life will know immediately when he calls him.
He talks to him on the, yeah. And especially his sob stories, like the sob story stuff he gives about.
My friend broke his arm, and we're all trying to pitch in to buy him a PC. We're on a really tight budget.
He has some.
He has a very distinct voice, and everyone knew.
He also
Every
has
single
some psychological sales tactics that he uses, which I've seen him use many times. But thank you, Sebastian. All right, and again, there's still. That's what
It'd be like if Mickey Mouse called you, "Hey, Paul, what's your favorite?" This is an anonymous caller. I was just calling to take a poll to see what your favorite museum, your amusement park is.
Stop! I hate your Mickey Mouse voice. Freaks me out.
You'd be like, Disneyland.
I probably wouldn't go through with that sale because I'd be freaked out. But no, that's why this was such an enjoyable season because there's still so much debate to happen after the fact. All right, Ulysses Lira, thank you for your $5 donation. Hey, just wanted to say thanks. You guys really helped me get into PC, building my first PC, especially Paul's Ryzen OC builds. Awesome. Those are recent, so that means you're recent. Gotten. Thank you for your donation. Brian, $20 donation. Kyle and Paul POTUS, would you co-president or would one of you take the vice presidential position? I don't know. I don't know if you can make that call after the fact. I feel like you have to establish that beforehand while you're running. But I don't know. Would you want to be president?
It doesn't matter. I'd probably get impeached for doing something stupid anyway.
All right. So I'll be president and Kyle can be vice president.
No, I'll be the janitor.
Kyle will be the janitor. Kyle doesn't even want any authority.
I'll be the White House janitor.
That.
I'll be the eyes and ears.
I'm
of
kind
the
of
White
the same mind as you.
I don't want to be in a presidential position right now. That sounds scary.
There's definitely a lot of eyeballs on you. A lot of scrutiny.
I delete my Twitter account immediately.
Yeah, I stopped tweeting. That's for sure. All right, Serpent XSF, $5 donation just because you guys are awesome hardware. Night, guys. Get some sushi. We will, Serpent, very soon. Very, very soon. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Gerald Baker, $20 donation. Kyle, your tape job was immaculate.
Why, thank you.
I demand a build guide with more tape. Fellas, here's money for your sushi or maybe to go towards Kyle's electric bill. Cheers and welcome back. Thank you, Gerald.
Thanks, man.
We'll put that to very good use. Definitely with some sushi there.
Went to town with that tape.
Finally, Flippin' Fred, $5 donation. Loltech is what I'm using for the swing arm of my PG348Q.
Loctech.
Setting a pic. Loctech. So Flippin' Fred is recommending Loctech. For those of you maybe looking for...
Loltech would be a funny name.
Loltech would be hilarious.
Loltech.
I kind of want to start Loltech.
I'd laugh out loud.
All right, so check Loctech out for a swing arm option as well.
Sweet.
We had one last donation here at the last minute from Bobby Jr. $10.
Why, thank you,
donation.
Sir.
Great Mickey impression.
Thank you.
He says to Kyle.
I've been working on it.
You're not standing right here next to him, so it's probably not as creepy for you. But all right, we're gonna end the show by sending those of you who are watching us live over to a Twitch raid.
Osiris.
We're raiding Osiris. Is this Osiris from Osiris Reviews?
Oh, is it?
It very well could be.
It might be.
So twitch.tv/Osiris OSIREZ. This is recommended by our wonderful moderator.
Cell Processing.
Thanks for moderating today, Cell. DV Chow, thanks for your $5 final donation. Said penis. Great way to end the show.
Yes.
Everyone goes to tell Osiris that we sent you his way.
He's watching Ballistic Overkill right now.
Awesome.
Or playing Ballistic
Glorious.
Overkill. Sweet.
And he's only got 5 viewers right now, so hopefully we can increase that a little bit. Guys, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Of course, more videos. I got more videos coming this week. Same with Kyle.
Me too.
Subscribe to our channels, all that good stuff.
Do it.
Thanks for watching, as always.
Do it.
We'll be back next week with another awesome hardware.
We'll tweet you some pictures of our sushi.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna tweet sushi pics.
All right, guys.
Okay. Bye, everyone.